What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Hey, sorry for the background, but as you all know, we moved. We are actually in North Carolina right now. To the side of me, you can't see it that well, but there's the lake right over there. Um, what's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy? Hope all is well with you. Ah, man, yeah. So last moving truck got here today. We got a bunch of stuff. Not sure if John is going to make it today. He got some issues at home. Hopefully, everything will be taken care of, and he will be able to, be. I'm sure he'll be back with us next week. Um, but thanks a lot for showing up and everything. Man, been a, what's happening, Chuck? How you doing, pal? It's been a hectic week here. We moved here officially a week ago. Yeah, I, I don't. This one I'll die in. The other one, I mean, it was a really great house, is where the family grew up and everything. But it was, you know, in retirement, my wife and I wanted to enjoy ourselves, and so that's why we built the lake house and working on getting a boat. Went and looked at one. Went to another place looking at other ones, but it's all coming together slow. But like I said, as you can see, there's everything right over there. It's a lot of that stuff right there is all of it's inventory, it's supplies and everything. I'm just temporarily set up on a card table right now. Actually, in that spot where you see that, that's where I'll actually eventually wind up going. Um, but after we get out of this mountain of stuff, and it's not like it's weird. It's not, um, the house is bigger than the last house technically, but we don't have as much storage space in this one just yet, so that's why it feels a little small. So we'll figure it all out. Not worrying about it. But hey, you didn't come here to talk about that. You came here to hopefully talk about sports. Man, I'll say this is the 30th episode. It's hard to believe that we've been doing this for 30 weeks now. We downsized. You got that right. Dude, understand something. We also went ahead and had two dumpsters. We filled up we filled up one 20-yard dumpster complete, and then we probably got about at least three quarters or more of another one. Um, you know, you don't realize when you move, you don't realize what you have. And we moved 27 years ago, and what do we do? Just put stuff up in the attic, put it in the attic, put it in the attic. And we had a lot of boxes that were up there that had the original movers label from when we moved from upstate New York down to Georgia. So, as we looked through, we were like, yep, nope, throw it out, throw it out, throw it out. So, but we know, so we, and unfortunately, we just got to the point to where we just couldn't go through any more of the stuff. I mean, so like we move stuff that we're either going to throw away, donate, or we will, have a sale or something. Wow, yeah, from 2,700 to 16. Yep, Oof. That's a big change, man. It's a big change. So, but we'll get through it. I'm looking forward to it. Um, you know, been fishing off the dock. It's been great and everything. Been great, but man, so sports world, man, a lot has happened since last week. Holy cow! What a weekend for sports, people. And we're not going to start with the obvious. Sunday night, Carolina Hurricanes, my new home state hockey team. Don't worry. Not going to change my allegiance. I'm a New York Islanders fan, and I will stay that way. Yeah, I agree. We have 1,800 right now, and it's plenty big for everyday living. once we figure out all the crap we have down here, it'll be, plenty big for basically Lisa and I, the two dogs, and the occasional, visitors. But man, the Carolina Hurricanes, they close out the Las Vegas Knights to win the Stanley Cup again. Uh, they're having a big parade in Raleigh, North Carolina on Saturday. No, not going. Uh, good for them. I mean, I tell you, it just goes to show you, you know, I don't know if hockey has it figured out with this whole salary cap, salary floor, and stuff. I know that you know, I I know that they changed, the expansion. I mean, because let's face it, what the Vegas Knights, they've been in what 2 or 3 Stanley Cups already, and they've been around less than a dozen years, maybe even less than 10 years. I mean, that kind of stuff usually would not happen with expansion teams. Good for them. They said that Trotz is not coming back. His contract was only through the 30th. I don't think he was looking for a full time gig, so they're trying to. They're gonna hire a new coach. The guy they fired um, has Edmonton and LA have wanted to talk to him. So far, they've denied him, but who knows? That'll probably change. That'll probably change. But congratulations, to the Carolina Hurricanes and then Jordan Stahl get an MVP. I bet you. I have a funny feeling. If Frederick Anderson, if he didn't go ahead, and have his, the whole thing with Claude Lemieux. What a shame. What a hockey player. And to go ahead and realize how he went ahead and passed away is crazy. Hey, Sean, what's going on, buddy? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's crazy about Claude Lemieux and everything, and I can understand how a close friend, as close a friend was, what was Frederick Anderson, how it could affect him and everything. But I think he was on his way to being the Conn Smythe winner if he, would have been able to continue to play. But he didn't. But Carolina, hey, congrats to them, congrats to them. And then the big one, 53 years in the making. The New York Knickerbockers, man, oh man, are you NBA champions? Phew, incredible. Man, incredible. Just the craziness, the just sitting there watching that game, going absolutely, bananas. Um, you know, uh, um, I think I would have loved for them to win in New York, but to be honest with you, I'm happy that they went ahead and finished it off because you don't want to come back to New York and all of a sudden they're thinking, oh my gosh, we got to win it here in front of our fans. And if we don't win it in front of our fans, what the heck's going to go ahead and happen, and so on and so forth. So I'm glad they took care of business and stuff like that and everything. Sorting a bunch of cards. Yeah, it's supposedly, Danhausen is going to be part of a Saturday night main event on July 18th, which is in Madison Square Garden. So I can only imagine, what they're going to do for him and everything. There's I think I don't know if I think it's on Fanatics Collects, but there is a one-on-one uh, Knicks championship belt that's signed by Danhausen and Jalen Brunson. So that's pretty cool. But exciting series. I mean, watching that game was incredible. I got to watch game 4 with Mike. He was here. He was still here. That was when we first, came up. And then he came up and followed us, but he left on Friday. So he watched from his house on Saturday. I watched him here and everything, and it was crazy. My my wife went to sleep, and it took everything I had to not go ahead and just go ahead and you know scream and cheer and everything, but I kept it together. But I will tell you, it's it was crazy. It was definitely emotional and stuff like that. You're just seeing what that team did. You know the I mean, hey, even as a fan, I wasn't sure. And when you looked at the way the season was going, you weren't sure, but it just goes to show you, man. They were basically building to be a team, and they did it at the right point, and it was great. Um, And I hope I don't have to wait another. Well, I won't wait another 53 years, because if I wait 53 years, I'll be what, 115 years old. So I don't think that's going to happen. So hopefully, it'll be less time before they win another one. Um, College baseball's going on for you college baseball fans. The brackets are set and everything, and actually, North Carolina has moved ahead for bracket number one. Bracket number two right now on ESPN is Oklahoma versus Georgia, and if Oklahoma wins, they move on to play North Carolina. If Georgia wins, then tomorrow will be the elimination game. So it's an elimination game for Georgia right now. If they win, they play tomorrow, and then the winner of that goes against North Carolina, which is a little crazy when you think about it. North Carolina against either Georgia or Oklahoma for the national championship, which would be. But I mean, actually, it shouldn't really surprise a lot of people. North Carolina was ranked number 5. Georgia's 3. Oklahoma. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. Um, Baseball news, man. I tell you this whole this whole thing that could be coming to the head with this potential strike or salary, stuff and everything. Oklahoma played well last night, but the center fielder caught should have been an out. Yes, I agree. That should have been an out. He went ahead and rolled over, and as he was standing up, the ball came out. There's no way that should not have been a catch. I think that was a bad call by the umpire. I think it was a bad reverse. Never should have went ahead and happened. I missed that one. But I'm sure it was a good one. But this whole you know the salary thing, this potential salary. Hey, Lawkin, what's going on, buddy? This whole salary cap thing for baseball. I don't know. Um, I look at the NHL, right, and they have the cap and they have the floor, and you see some of the smaller market teams doing well. Um, I can't say, and I'm not going to lie, I don't believe that a ceiling and a floor is gonna work the way they want it to work in MLB. Uh, because you still got to have players that are going to want to go to those cities. So, what I think, honestly, what we're going to wind up seeing is I think you're going to wind up seeing, you know, a few the good players from a small market team. They'll be paid because they have to pay them. And then I think what you'll start seeing is unfortunately you're going to start seeing certain players being overpaid. Now, I just because again, like Tampa, Tampa, very good, great, good team, good organization. That and other thing, you know, how many players are going to want to go there? I'm not saying maybe some will, but is Tampa going to be willing to get closer to the ceiling than they are the floor? If you have these teams already, excuse me, that are at the lower portion of the salary right now, why do we think all of a sudden, because we're going to make them spend 170 million, that they're going to be willing to spend 220 million? I just don't get it. Yeah, the Scots hit Boston and they ran out of beer. That was funny. I heard that, and they were walking around with bagpipes. They said and everything. That's pretty cool though. I think that's pretty amazing that they were actually able to sell out a baseball game of beer. Um, So I think that's what that's what I think about the salary cap. I think it's going to be difficult. I mean, I'm not saying I don't. I'm interested to see how they implement it. Number one, number two, like I said, I don't really think I don't think they're going to go ahead and I don't think it's going to change a lot. I think the teams that excuse me, I think the teams that are at the top of the salary right now are going to stay at the top of the salary. I think the teams that are at the bottom of the salary cap are going to stay at the bottom. Hey, Lawson, bars ran out also. That man, the bars to run out in Boston of beer. That's crazy. Um, so man, I think, like I said, I just think it's going to be interesting what happens with baseball. I just, I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder how they're going to figure this out. I wonder, how long, how many owners are really going to push for it? How many owners are going to, I mean, are the players going to strike or is there going to be a lockout? I mean, I think that's where you have to look at it personally, right? Is it a lockout? Hey, we're going to lock the players out because they won't agree to the salary cap. Well, I think the players would be like, heck, we're going on strike, but it can't go on strike, so who knows? Again, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Um, I would love to go ahead and really know what the negotiations are like, 'cause I think that's going to be a very interesting piece to all of this. But look, we're not going to go ahead and find out that much. We're not going to hear that much about it. It'll be what it will be, and it'll go from there and everything. So, that standpoint. But baseball season, I mean, Max Scherzer. No, it's not good for baseball next year. I think it's going to be very, very difficult. I, I just don't know where the cave in occurs. I mean, you know, how many owners truly? I don't know. But I just, if not, should be soon. I know supposedly, Sean, that the owners have proposed something, the players have proposed something back. But I don't think they have, you know, um, done any of that negotiating. I would think it'd be difficult that players wouldn't want to do that. Any of the player reps, obviously, the players union, those guys, they can do it, but obviously that stuff gets down to the players. But I would think the player reps and stuff would not want that happening right now during the regular season. But the big issue that you have is, I believe it ends December first week of December, I think, or sometimes during December. So you figure, World Series gets over, for crying out loud. World Series now end in November. You're talking what, 30 days before the CBA, I believe, comes to an end, and then then we'll see what's happened. After saying, "Oh, to be a fly in the one," yeah, I think I would. Chuck, I agree. I'd love to be, part of that, or just to be able to hear, what they are saying. I think it would be very, very interesting. Um, be very, very interesting to go ahead and get everybody's, points of view. I don't know, from that perspective. You know, like I said, I don't necessarily. Uh, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like World Series winter meetings, negotiations, and to be honest with you, you know, do you really have a big need for negotiations for winter meetings if there's going to potentially be, a shutdown? A lockout, call it whatever you want to call it. I mean, I think, like I said, to me, it's an unfortunate situation. Um, you know, I, I don't know if baseball, I'm not going to say baseball could not, withstand a lockout. I think what would hurt them the worst would be if they tried to bring replacement players in. But then from a hobby perspective, all of a sudden, imagine, imagine Panini putting out replacement player cards. Yeah, meetings are useless without a deal. Imagine that though. Imagine that. Imagine that you go ahead and you have replacement players and Panini, because Tops wouldn't do it. But Panini or Leaf, they'd be putting out play replacement player cards, which would, I don't know. Part of me thinks, man, that's freaking crazy. All part of me thinks that's pretty freaking cool. You know, so I don't know what they will do. It's going to be extremely interesting. Um, yeah, I think it's nuts and everything. But but going back, yeah, banana ball play. Yep, there you go, man. You do a break on that, man. Your Panini replacement players. Holy cow. It would be, banana ball player cards. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't. I'm surprised even the Savannah Bananas haven't put them out. I haven't. Maybe they have. I haven't seen anything. But you figure, all those players that they've had and stuff, even the pardon me, even the specialty ones. I mean, not the celebrity ones. Russell Wilson, I think, went out there, or some of these guys and stuff. So banana ball would be cool. I think it would be interesting um from a hobby perspective. That'd be pretty cool. The guy on the stilts, that'd be a hell of a card. Man, then you can have, a relic, a piece of his stilts. They take one of his stilts and they cut little pieces of it. You don't get a bat relic from the stilt guy. You get a stilt relic. Oh man, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Uh, oh man. The home plate umpire card would be very cool. Yeah, right? That'd be, yeah. The home plate umpire guy. But I mean, you think about like the action shot. Like, think if they did a stadium club type of card with some of the things that they have these guys doing. Some of the guys doing the backflips and all the other kind of stuff. I mean, they could really go ahead and do something nice, with banana ball, with the banana ball players and stuff. I mean, it would be, again, it would be very interesting. A concept, and like I said, it it's crazy because the hobby and stuff, would, I gotta believe the hobby would take would take another dent, um from that standpoint. Sports flicks banana cards, oh wow, that's true. Man, you could have the motion card and you go ahead and you flip it this way, and then you see the guy doing the flip as he's catching it. Damn, that'd be awesome. Yep. I'm surprised. Like I said, the guy from the banana ball, you would think that he, would think about, this type of stuff. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they haven't capitalized on that part from the hobby standpoint, because you would have to believe that if, even if the bananas themselves, that if they went ahead and put that out, that it would be a major hit. Now again, I don't know who they'd be able to get it done through. Um, but why not talk to him? Why not talk to Leaf? Why not talk to Upper Deck? Why not talk to Panini? Again, Tops probably, I don't know, Tops, to me, I think they would stay away from it, but you might as well talk to them also. I think Panini would be the one. I mean, you think about, a stained glass guy on the stilts. There would be so many cool things that you could do. I mean, Panini would probably be the one that would be the, the partner that could go ahead and get it done the quickest also. You got to figure, they're already printing cards, already doing all that other kind of stuff. So you would think that they'd be able to continue right along and do it. And it would give them something in baseball that probably more people would want. I mean, you look at what they're trying to produce now. I mean, they have the Donruss, which it's not bad. And when you look at the checklist ain't bad. But you know, people, a lot of people are probably not going to want to spend a lot of money on that. With the bananas, no licensing, this, that, and other thing. You get them, you get the part, whatever it is, the party animals, the bananas, whoever the heck they are. I mean, they could run with that. You have the 47 parallels and 47 numbered cards. They could print a few million. Topps Chrome will have minion cards, baseball, football, and basketball sets. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. I did not see that about the minions. Um, you know, I think one kind of. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Very cool. But you know, some sports news from my buddy, your buddy, everybody, buddies, Dom. When the Hurricanes beat the Vegas, they said that it was you know uh average was 1.8 million views, surpassed the old record, which is pretty darn good. Yeah, I mean, you know why? Because you're going to go ahead and get more out of it from a hit perspective, and that's the sad part about it. Peterson, oh, oop, yeah, you think you donk, whatever. Don't worry about it, Chuck. We understand. Um, yeah, I mean that's John and I were talking about it either last week or the week before that. You know, I I just don't get why with all the players in MLB, why there can't be more hits in every level of product, whether it be jumbo, hobby, mega, value box, or blaster box, fat pack. There's no with the amount of players that you have, even if it was just a relic, even if it was just a relic, there's no reason. Yeah, you can't. You should be able to get more hits. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, if you were to take a Juan Soto jersey, an Aaron Judge jersey, an Otani jersey, a Trout jersey, Harper, I mean, just keep going down the list. How many of those little, what is it, inch by inch or three-quarter by three-quarter inch, um, relics can you get out of one of those jerseys? Yes, you'll cut out, the laundry tag and the logo and so on and so forth. But you think about how many more what you can do. There's literally no reason why you can't do that. I mean, there's so many players in baseball. You should be able to. There's no reason why you can't. Like I don't understand it. I mean I just they they have you know they they have the ability to do it and they don't. And that's what irritates me, the most with them. Right. You could definitely get a few hundred out of one jersey. So if you took Scooble and you took, Flamber Valdez and you took, again, Juan Soto, you think about it, Trey Turner, you go to LA, right? Crying out loud, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. You do the Cubs, you do PCA, you do Roman Anthony, you do all this kind of stuff. I saw that one bat could make over 11. Holy crap. There you go right there. You know, I mean, and that's if you just think about it, you could take, the next level players. All right, so you get, I don't know, you get Nunez from the Senate, from the Nationals. Okay, but at least you get something. That's awesome. Tristan Peters used to play for the Bananas. Oh, that's cool, Chuck. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that gets me. There's no reason why you can't do it. And then even in football, it's the same exact thing in football. And even in basketball, I just to me, I just don't understand why, you know, well, I I shouldn't say I don't understand why. I don't like the idea that they don't. I understand why, because they don't have to. Because people are still going to go ahead and buy the product. People are still going to go ahead and buy it. Now, I believe if you look on uh I believe if you look on Tops's website, last I looked, you could still go ahead and pick up, I think, uh Jumbo's and what do you call it? Jumbo's and what and hobby boxes, you know. But again, what are you going to do? When you're the let's face it, when you're the only you're the only game in town. People got to go ahead and they got to pay and take what you're offering. And unless you say, "Hey, not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. There's no way I want to do it. I don't want anything to do with it." Well, then you know, I guess there's nothing, overall. Again, I guess that there's nothing that you could go ahead and there's nothing that we can really do about it. They're going to make what they make. They're going to continue to make what they make, um, because people are still going ahead and buying the product. That's how um, that's how simple this is. People are still going to go ahead and buy the product, so they'll do what they got to do. And stuff. It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. I said, with the way the hobby is, I mean, again, I was I didn't get a chance to look at the couple of videos, but some videos came up as perspective, perspective videos, for me, and it's like, hey, you know, the market shift is killing me. Hey, you know, what was the other one I saw? I forgot what the other one was, but same type of thing. Look, I can't believe, prices of this, prices of that, price of this. The normal guy, the normal collector, let's just face it, it's tough. It's definitely, it's definitely tough, you know. Is the people buying it, or is the breakers buying everything up, trying to find Topps Chrome Platinum in the wild? I actually found Topps Chrome Platinum. I found it at BJ's of all places. I went my wife, we were there, the BJ's in down in Kannapolis, or Concord, North Carolina. We walked in there and I didn't even notice the cards at first. We were getting ready to check out and we walked right by. I was like, oh wow, Pokemon cards. And then I looked at the other side and I was like, holy crap, they got they got platinum. And then the other thing that I saw that had never seen before was they had UFC Stadium Club. Yeah, that's right. Breakers, Arnie, and some other guy. Yeah, I did. Oh, extremely lucky. They were sitting there, and I went ahead and bought them. And the other thing that I found out in the wild for the first time, and I don't know where I put it, but oh, it is 100%, 100%. Um, The other thing that I saw for the first time out in the store was that Bo Jackson stuff. What is it? Battle Arena? Forgot. Yeah. I found it at Ace Hardware. And that was expensive. I mean, it was way more than I would have wanted to pay, but um it was the first time I've seen it out in public, out in the wild. Every time I've tried to buy it, I've never been able to get it. So I went ahead and uh I went ahead and grabbed the box, and I actually went back to that Ace Hardware again, and they had, I think, 2 or 3 other boxes. But it was a little more expensive than I wanted to go ahead and pay, but I was like, "Man, I gotta buy at least one. It's the first one that I've seen. I gotta go ahead and I have to, rip it, and rip it on the channel." Now, when is that gonna happen? When are we gonna start making regular videos again? Well, look behind me, folks. It ain't it ain't easy. I'm gonna try and see how I can go ahead and get that area set up. But it's not gonna be I just want to make sure she's not around the corner. There's a lot more stuff on my honeydew list that I gotta get done first. If you understand. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I get it. I get it. Retail ain't easy. I was in retail, but I wasn't in retail. I mean, I worked for Home Depot for a long time, as a lot of people know. But I really didn't work the retail side. I worked the corporate side, but for two uh, for almost 3 years, I actually worked in a store, and stuff like that. And it's not easy to do. Not easy to do. Um, but again, is it the breakers? I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, the funny thing that gets me is are we hearing about like why is it that I'm not seeing a video for any of the redemption cards, the Aaron, the Maze, or anything from Series 2? But why am I not seeing that pop up? Now, I mean, I would think if someone got that either in a break or ripped it themselves, that they would go ahead and have something they do something like that. They'd at least go ahead and go, "Hey, check this out." I'd see. I mean, you think, that would go viral or something, but you haven't really seen it and everything. Gonna be a shut-in when you retire. Nah. Well, I mean, it depends where you are. Uh, I'm not gonna be a shut-in because, I got a lot of fish to try and catch. I may not catch any of them, although I have had some good luck. I did have some good luck and everything. Um, but Dom sent me some baseball news, and some sports news, and I forgot about the stuff with the parade and with the NBA finals. NBA finals were watched a lot, but the whole parade thing, uh, to me, is amazing. If it wasn't for breaks, they would never be able to sell those. You got that right. That is the only reason why those boxes sell for that price. And and it's you know, look. I mean, it has gone the the big name guys, right? All those big time breakers. They're basically running gambling halls, and that's what it is. It's more gambling than it is now. You'd be if you wanted to buy $300 a $300 box, you'd almost be better off going ahead and buying $300 worth of scratch offs because you probably would have a better shot at least making half of your money or more back on something like that. You know exactly where it hits, right? Yeah, right. You get the product. months, if not years after release, and now it's gone in 2 weeks. It's freaking crazy. Oh, Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Hey man, hope everything is okay. Hello, Beast, Johnny, Bing, and the Beast. That's all that gets me is like, where are you even hearing about the hits? And that's the part. That's the part for me. Like, do you hear about them? I think John. We talked about it last week. So the 52 mantle from was hit. But when you think about all those other cards, now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that every single one of those redemption cards people should be going ahead and going crazy about. But you would think for people like us that follow the hobby, that even in our normal YouTube feed, when we look at it, we would see this type of stuff. I really don't. I see more stuff about if I go to YouTube right now, let's see, there was the baseball junkies. There's Clever Cuban Cards has a thing up. Loot Rock TV has a video. I mean, here I am. Oh, a a pack of rips, sports card jackpot at a garage sale, and Strikers live right now doing a top series 2 hanger box PC case. Picking and Punching has something on there about, what he got at a flea market. Why are we not seeing anything about, hey, flagship, I went ahead and hit, the Willie Mays. I went ahead and hit, the Hank Aaron. Why? Why are we not um why are we not hearing about that? I mean, why? Again, it is what it is. I understand it, but uh I think it's, I don't, again, I just go back to it from a standpoint of, I think what you look at what we have going on in the hobby, it's something that's not going to change anytime soon. There's no need for it to go ahead and change because, you know, the breakers are still there. Everybody's going ahead and, everybody is, you know, everybody's still buying into those. It's not like people are not going ahead and buying in. It must be. I don't know. I mean, you would. Well, I mean, let's face it, right? We would hope that because it's on the checklist that it's out there, but you don't know. That's the problem. Nobody, nobody's. Obviously, look. Let's face it. Nobody has to come. Nobody has to make a video and say, "I hit the Hank Aaron." They don't have to. But you would think that a lot of people, if you hit that card, you'd be ecstatic and you would go ahead and make a video. You know, I mean, like I said, I don't, I get it. No one has to make a video. They could be like, hey, I don't want them. I'm not, I'm going to be nice and quiet. I got it in a break. Some people saw it. They saw so and so. But you would think, let's say it was in a whatnot break or striker break or a backyard break or some of these other guys. Wouldn't you think that it would be clipped by somebody else at least? Wouldn't you think Leighton would, wouldn't you think Leighton or Backyard or Striker or one of these people that if they went ahead and pulled that in the break, that they would not go ahead and post at least shorts and stuff like that to get it out there? Wouldn't you want people to know that you went ahead and pulled it so that people will come now and go, oh my gosh, he pulled the mantle. Let's check him out. I mean, you'd want that for the advertising. I mean, I just don't get it. Yeah. To me, it would be posted somewhere. Where? I don't know. Instagram, X. I mean, you would think YouTube, but I'm just saying, you would think that if those cards were pulled by a guy on YouTube, it would do it. Right. You know a guy like Stryker would, you know the backyard guys would, you know Leighton would, you know some of those filth bombs and all those other guys and everything from whatnot, you know they would be posted. That's what I'm saying. You know any breaker would want it would want to make a video about it because they're gonna want the advertising. I mean, my goodness gracious, what more advertising could you have is we pulled the 52 mantle. We pulled the whatever 54 Aaron, whatever it may be. You would think they would go ahead and be jumping for joy, saying, "Hey, I did it, I did it, I did it, or we did it, we did it, we did it." This look, hey folks, this is why you want to break with us. We pulled the mantle. We pulled the Aaron. We pulled the maze. At least, I mean, like I said, I would find it. I would go ahead and I mean, if I was in a break, I mean, people would see. I mean, again, even if you're not the person who is the owner of the card, you would think that if a breaker pulled it, it would be out there. So what's going on with that? What's happening? Where, to your point, Mike, where are all these cards? Where are they going? Where can they possibly be? Because we ain't seeing them. They ain't. I mean, again, you're not. We're not seeing them. We don't know where they could be. You know, have those boxes been released? I mean, you would think with as many boxes as the breakers go ahead and rip, especially during release week, you would think that those cards would be out there by now. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that. But for the parade tomorrow in New York City, 10,000 police officers, heavy weapons teams, explosive teams, canines, transportation, highway, aviation, drones, and more. They are going to make sure that nobody does nothing. Parade starts at 10 o'clock. Like I said, the hockey parade. Golf starts. The real football is going on. The USA, the World Cup. Anybody watching the World Cup? I'm not. Uh, hockey. WNBA is going to go to 50 games in 2027. Who cares? I know soccer is exciting for a lot of people. Um, I'm not one of them. Chuck's not one of them. John's not one of them. Sean's not one of them. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. I'll be a fair weather fan. If the US somehow, was in the semifinals or something like that, with a chance to go to the finals, I may watch it would be a tough term to use. I may have it on. It'd be like one of those things where I'd be sitting over here, and then what I would do is I'd have another screen open on that side, and it would just be playing. I wouldn't pay attention. I'd be listening, and if the USA scored a goal, then I would look to see the replay. World Cup, World Rugby. My goodness gracious. Oh, sorry. Soccer is grass. Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. This, you know, thankful for sports. it goes ahead and oh, look who is here. It is Seven's season. That must be a code for something. I don't know. Sorry, just looking out the window at the lake. Sorry. Right, that's what I'm saying, right? If they make it to the next round, you know what? You may go ahead and throw it on just because it's the USA, right? But you think about it from a standpoint of um, right. But I mean, Mike, I don't know about you, but I look at it from a standpoint of am I gonna watch it or am I gonna watch it? Right? Like I'm not gonna sit there and put it on the big screen TV in the living room and be like, wow. I might go ahead and put it on if it's on ESPN or something like that down here at my desk with my big monitor and open up a screen and then, work on some other stuff and have it in there. But I don't think I will go ahead, and have it. Dom was upstate coaching this past Saturday. Nice. Dom. No, we went and looked at one. I like it, but there's another one I want to look at. And we have probably a couple of pontoon boats to go ahead and look at it. Softball is finished. Yep. Baseball has next weekend. How is everybody doing? Background noise while I'm sorting cards. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean. Like, would I be watching it? No. Will I have it on? Like, to your point, I mean, obviously, I have a lot of stuff to do down here. If I'm working on, getting my computer stuff together or building, the new studio, the new office, yes, I would have it on the screen, National Mascot Day. Well, way to go, Mr. Met. Sorry. How do you feel about MLB going after the pitchers putting versus on a pride hat? Yeah, I don't like it. Um, to each their own. People can do what they want to do. Uh, but I think it would be, I, yeah, it's just I don't know. I just find it negative. I don't like it. USA would have been in the finals and I still wouldn't watch it. Come on, Chuck. What about like you hear whatever you're doing, right? And all of a sudden they go, "Oh my gosh, the US is up 2-0. There's 2 minutes left. The US could win the World Cup." You wouldn't even necessarily just watch, that little bit to see the US go ahead and win and jump around and cheer. And it's funny, I go ahead and I say it too, and I'm thinking I probably wouldn't either. I don't think Chuck is going for free tickets. I just don't see that, man. I don't see Chuck caring at all if tickets are free or not. You know, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, would I have it on as background noise? Yes. And if the US was in the finals and they're winning, big with a minute or so, then I would go ahead and I might go ahead and turn it on. Ugh. Ah, I don't, you know, as much as the breakers might be killing the hobby, WWE is killing wrestling. Uh, it was, oh yeah, really fun. I was, I was sitting down on the dock watching it on my phone, which was pretty cool. No, that's true. It's TKO. TKO is doing a hell of a job, with what's going on and everything. And I don't know, man. I just, the whole, I don't know, man. I just having a hard time with it. I just, look, it's like it really, in my opinion, in a crazy way, it's running parallel with the hobby, right? Fanatics took over and the hobby, TK took over wrestling, and I mean, you look at it from that standpoint. It's companies that see, a cash cow, and the truth of the matter is they don't care. They don't care about the fan. Whether you're a fan of sports, whether you're a fan of wrestling, they don't care about the collector in the hobby. They don't care about that, you know. And I know it's changed so much, right? I remember the first time I went to the National and I saw the old timers with their binders or spiral notebooks, handwritten down, whatever it was, whatever sport it was, what year and what card numbers they needed, and just going around and trying to find that vintage of the side. Why are they doing it? So they can go ahead and complete a set. And I know that set building is not what it used to be. I think that's that's the part that's been taken out of the hobby, which I go ahead and I guess I understand because they've turned it into more, let's face it, it's more of an investment, more of gambling than it is, what it I'm not saying buying and selling didn't occur back in the day, but it was very, very different than it is today. I think we could all go ahead and agree with that. Um, but I think that's what's going on. I think that's where you stand. I think that's what you're looking at from that standpoint of they don't care. There's no reason for them to care. There's no reason for TKO to care. There's no reason for fanatics to care, especially when fanatics you think about it, like, and they're both in a way the same type of thing, right? TKO buys WWE. They got nothing to worry about. Fanatics, they purchase all of the, the leasing rights, whatever that is called, right? They go ahead and they purchase all that. Now they have that. What do they care? Unless the hobby takes a massive drop down. Now, what does that look like? I think it looks more, it's going to be different in each person's eyes what it is, but to them, as long as people are willing to pay 400, 500, 800, 1,000, whatever it is, for a box of cards, they're going to keep doing it. If that part stops, they don't care about the guy buying fat packs, buying value boxes, buying mega boxes. Don't care. They could care less about those people. If people stop buying the hobbies, the and the jumbos, when it gets to basketball and football, when they stop buying those big box cards, the big dollar cards, that's when maybe they'll care. I'm not even saying they will, but if that's probably the only potential that you have is for something like that to go ahead and happen. And let's face it, as of right now, that's slim to none. The chase is there. You still have a bunch of people who have a bunch of these things, bunch of them dollar sign, dollars that are willing to go ahead and do it. I don't know if people are going to stop buying high end product, John. It's the gambling aspect. It's not about the product. See, that's just it. It's not, you know, it's not it's not it's not this. It's what potentially could be inside. And that's where the gambling aspect is going to always be there. Because the part of I might be able to get that hit. I might get the Roman Reigns 1 of 1. I might get the Juan Soto. I might get the Otani 1 of 1. I might get one of those cards. That as long as those people are in this game, that's what's gonna happen. They did. And yeah. And they're still in last place. 14 games out of first place. 4 games out of fourth place. And 5, but it's funny. It's crazy. They're 14 and a half games out of first place in the division, 5.5 games out of the wild card. And what's going to wind up happening is this jackass of a GM is going to go ahead and wind up making a run for it, I think, which is stupid. Dumb, dumb, dumb. But I think, but that's where it is. Like I said, it's not a high, it's the gambling aspect of it that has people, involved a lot. And you know, what's going to be the next thing that they could gamble on? I don't know. You know, you would think that there's plenty of gambling to go around, right? You have daily fantasy between Draft Kings and whatever, all these other, uh, gambling sites that you have that you could gamble on any type of thing. You would think that, it would not necessarily go away, but you would think that, it would thin out that stuff. But I don't, I just don't think it matters. The hobby is what the hobby is going to be. And, come on. We could gamble on if we make 100 episodes. Only 70 more to go. 70 more to go. So, we'll see. I'll probably be here taking my Wednesday nights, chillaxing, chatting. Um, but I don't know. I don't know, kids. Oh crap! I never started the live. Wait, I just started the live. From that stand. Johnny's going to be back, and we'll have the. That's right. We will have our afternoon of champions. Although I know it's night of champions, but it's in Saudi Arabia, so it'll be on early here. 70 is easy. We got 160 on collecting profit. Right after that, we started this one, so it's been 190. It's been 190 weeks in a row, I think. Because I think collecting profit went to 160. I gotta check. Podcasts. Collecting profit. No, we don't want to do that. Go backwards. Live. Manage videos. Podcast playlists. Hot diggity dog. I never did a playlist for collecting profit. Number of videos, collecting profit. I'm sorry, collecting profit did 150. So we're at 180. We still have to have you on. Yeah, Mike. One of these Wednesdays, man. If you when you finish up with the when you finish up with yours, man, come on and pop on with us. That'd be pretty cool. Continue the conversation. Yeah, so collecting profit went 150. These are at 30. That's 100, 180, 180 weeks in a row. That's freaking nuts. That is nuts, man. That's that's a long time. 20 more. We get to 50 on here. Holy cow, be 200 weeks. I like it. I like it. Even though, had to have a substitute here or there. Had to have some fill-ins. I know 3.5 years. Yep. Been going live on Wednesday nights for 3.5 years. It's weird. It's cool. It's weird. 180 weeks is like 368 years, long ass time. I mean, Dom, pretty soon, we're gonna catch up to as old. The show will be going on as old as you are, Dom. In another, I don't know, Dom. Another 50 weeks, we'll be at 80. You'll be 81. So I mean, we'll catch up to you. We are catching up, brother. You be careful, Dommy. Be careful, Dom. We're catching up to you. We are catching up to you. You'll be on. Ah. Dom is a young buck. But he plays the grumpy old man card very, very well. Very, very well. Ugh. I don't know, fellas. Pardon me. I don't know. I wish baseball would get more exciting right now, but you're in those dog days. June is always tough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully, but maybe now that it's 8 o'clock, they will. They can go ahead and send it. Turns 101. Crap, Dom. It's gonna take John and I a long time to catch up to you. 101. That's 70 more weeks. In 70 more weeks, you'll be 102. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll do okay. You're not alone. You're not alone. But hey, at least the Knicks won a championship. That's at least the best we could go ahead and say. You know, it's I don't know. It's like I was saying earlier, the Nick thing. It was just so crazy. A buddy of mine asked me, "Hey, are you gonna go to the parade and everything?" And I was like, "Nah, there's gonna be way too many people there, and unless what everybody was saying is that unless you started camping out or you tried to get some, if you tried to go ahead and get in there, this afternoon for tomorrow, you ain't getting close. You are not getting close." Thanks, John. You were an usher at MSG. Oh, nice. I figured you were the beer guy. I agree. It's gonna be ridiculous. Raleigh, North Carolina, not too far from where we are. They're having the Stanley Cup parade on Saturday. Um, I mean, how many million people are going to be there for this thing? You know? Yeah, you're right. They were cool a long time ago. They ain't that cool anymore. And especially when you think about, you know what this one is going to be. Sorry, what this one is going to be like. Yeah, I agree. There's going to be a few million people there. I mean, I get the only at least you say you were there, but that's about it. I mean, again, from a couple of uh, a couple of people that I follow on X, um, they were being told that if you planned on being anywhere to where you could actually see the buses go by and see the play, and not, I mean, not see him as being this big, but you'd have to go ahead and get there sometime. You would have had to have been there already, and it's Wednesday night, so. He went through a shoe at the. Oh man, that's just that's just crazy. All right, so hey, how about an update on some baseball scores? The Diamondbacks beat the Angels 8-1. The Dodgers beat the Rays 5-4. The Padres beat the Cardinals 6-1. The Astros beat the Tigers 4-2. The Marlins whooped on the Phillies 12-4. The Kansas City Royals, aka Locken's team, beat the Washington Nationals, aka Beast Team, 6-2. The New York Metropolitans, they won today. Let's see. Your Cubs are beating the Rockies 8-1. Brewers beating the Guardians 7-4. The Giants are beating the baseball team from Georgia 5-2. The Yankees are beating the White Sox 9-3. Again, the Mets beat the Cincinnati Reds 9-1. The Blue Jays are beating the Padres. I'm sorry. The Blue Jays are beating the Reds 2-0. Yeah. Once a week like clockwork. Oh man. That's good, Lachlan. That's really good. So let's see what else we have going on. That's just it, man. I mean, it's not a lot more to talk about. I mean, it's oh, looks like Georgia might be going home. Oklahoma winning 5-1. We could have an Oklahoma North Carolina College World Series finals. That'd be pretty interesting. Some teams played in the World Cup today. Some teams lost. Some teams won. I want to make sure we don't do any. Want to make sure we have that coverage. We even got Nunez out killing his two. Oh man, deleted or ended on Rumble? No, not really. It's still there. Whoops. No, we went live 24. What the heck's wrong with you, man? Nunez. Uh, oh well. Looks like the stream may have died on Rumble. 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 Oh, you're going to ask me for a code. Screw that. All right. Goodbye, people from Rumble. Oh, looks like we had an issue with it anyway. So sorry, Charlie. Yep. All-star voting is going to be a joke. What do you mean this year? It's not a joke every year? Well, Canada only has one team to choose from. Yeah. Let's see. 2026 MLB All-Star voting. Let's see what's happening. What do we have here? Ooh. Holy cow. Come on. Where the hell's the voting leaders? You know, that's stupid. Why doesn't it say who the voting leaders are? And don't forget, this is only phase 1. There is phase 2. Well, I mean, 100%, but that's unfortunately that's what happens. You know, you have you have Jordan Walker, James Wood, Corbin Carroll, and Juan Soto. Those are your 4 that they're talking about. You got to figure a guy like what's his name? You got to figure there's a guy like Tatis is going to somehow wind up getting there when he probably shouldn't go ahead and deserve to be there. He's not having a great year. Yeah. So let's see. As of right now, you have Drake Baldwin has about a 300,000 vote lead over Will Smith, which I'm okay with that. Freddie Freeman has about a 70,000 lead over Matt Olson. Ozzy Albies has about 120,000 over Bryson Stott. Max Muncy. How the frig is a guy like Max Muncy still considered a starting third baseman? But he is destroying the third base crew. Max Muncy has a 560,000 vote lead. CJ Abrams, about 12,000 over Mookie Betts. Shohei, about 300,000 more than Kyle Schwarber. Right. But the outfield, Andy Pajes from the Dodgers, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh is number 3. Soto is 9. Pete Crow is 14. Corbin Carroll, James Wood are 7 and 8. 8 and 7. Let's see. In the American League, Guerrero has 100,000 lead over Ben Rice. Ben Rice deserves. Ben Rice is definitely someone who should go ahead and be there. Catchers, Shea Langoliers. That makes sense. Second baseman, Ernie Clement. I don't really, but Travis Bonanza. The guy hasn't even really, been up all year long. He's third, but he's still 600. He's 500 and over over 600,000 down. Ernie Clement from the Toronto Blue Jays is killing it. Junior Caminero, Bobby Witt, nice, healthy lead. Bobby Witt has 890,000. Second place, 354. DH, Jordan Alvarez makes sense. Guys having an unbelievable year. And your outfield is Judge, Trout, and Bellinger, followed by Buxton, Green, and then Julio. So I don't know, man. I agree with you there, Locke. And there's too many guys that shouldn't be there that are probably gonna get there. Junior is the right choice too. He's having a good year. He's definitely having a good year. But look, Otto Lopez. How does Otto Lopez? I mean, not that the guy's fantastic, but I mean he's hitting 336, 5 home runs, 32 RBIs. Why isn't a guy like that getting more ink? Weak, yeah. I mean, Judge, Trout, and Bellinger. I mean, Judge is Judge. He's not having a typical Judge year. Um, but I mean, he doesn't suck like some of these other guys do, but he's not doing good. I mean, he's hitting 248 and Judge don't hit 248. Buxton's having a good year. Buxton, in my opinion, should be there, especially over a guy like Bellinger. Um, you know, you look at Judge. Judge not having a good year. Yeah, he has been 50. He's only played 59 games. He's on a 10-day DL right now. But even still, I mean, he's still only hitting 248. It ain't like he's going ahead and killing it. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. They should make an rookie all-star game. I mean, they could. I mean, that would be interesting. You know, I like seeing the futures game. Personally, I like the futures game. I like that one. It gives you an idea of potentially some players. Excuse me. But Judge getting hurt again. Probably doesn't deserve to go ahead and be there. Too many guys don't deserve to go ahead and be there. To your point, Lockin. Uh, this whole what the hell's his first name? Brendan Sorbies or Sorbies, however you say his name. Man, this whole saga thing with this kid's incredible. He's gonna be part of the supplemental draft. It's gonna be interesting to see if anybody is willing to uh take a chance on him during a supplement draft. All righty, sir. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you popping in. Hope everything goes well. Ah, well, folks. Been going for hour 24. I think we're going to go ahead and shut her down, relax the rest of the evening, figure out what I'm going to wind up doing tomorrow, what I got to get done and everything. So thanks a lot for hanging out. Don't forget, this is the new time, 8 p.m. We're going to follow, we will be following, Mr. Infuego and Mike, Ribbon for Rookies. They do their Junkies podcast. They're going to do their Junkies podcast, I think, from like 7 to 8. And then we'll be here after that. So go ahead and come on back next week. Have a great week. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day. Hope everybody has a great day, great weekend. Hope you get treated right. And as always, to catch you at the next one. Appreciate each and every one of you.